Cyberpunk 2077 is finally out, and to celebrate, as well as me recently reaching 30,000 subscribers, I did this absolutely overkill Cyberpunk themed PC. Previously, on a celebration, I gave away an RTX 3080, but now let's see if we can get 10k likes for this 10k PC. Smash that like button. Hey guys, Tiago here. So we're all really excited for Cyberpunk 2077, and that game has like really cool visuals, that 80s neon lighting, all those colors. They actually translate really well to doing a sort of like ridiculous build like this. I'm going to take you guys through some of my build process, what I wanted to do, some of the components. I always find it entertaining to see these absolutely ridiculously powerful builds, and they can actually teach you a lot about a game's performance, where you can scale down, where you can sort of like minimize in cost and not have to do such an overkill system, and it's also a lot of fun to do. Now first, let's address the GPUs in this build, and you'll see that they're RTX 3090 in SLI with the NVLink bridge. They're going to be EVGAs for the Win 3 Ultra. Now eventually I plan to leave just one GPU in this system. I'm waiting for the water block to come out. That way I'm going to put the water block probably mounted vertically, but in the meantime I wanted to use the two GPUs, and of course I understand that it's a waste in a lot of cases having two SLI GPUs, and SLI 3090s, especially with the GPU shortages, definitely sometimes isn't the best option. But of course on the channel I gave away an RTX 3080, so at least that gives back a little bit to the community for those people that weren't able to get these GPUs. So having said that, eventually, like I said, it's going to be a one GPU system, but in the meantime it is fun to use benchmarks and try to get high scores with SLI GPUs like this, as well as in the few games that actually support it, just to see how high you can go. And of course I use it as a workstation as well, without having to connect the NVLink. A lot of applications, maybe something like DaVinci Resolve, if you're rendering, can take advantage of having two GPUs. Therefore, if you're doing a real complex project, it can actually save you a lot of time. So that's really the more valid reason for using SLI nowadays. But even having said that, I do plan to go back down to one GPU. I wanted to do two as well, mostly for the aesthetic and mostly for this build. But later on, I'll just decommission that second GPU, as I think that's going to be definitely more efficient. For the motherboard and CPU, of course, this is going to be the Ryzen 5950X on an X570 Godlike. Now, when I initially got the X570 Godlike, it was for the 3900X when that was released, and I had mixed feelings about the X570 Godlike. I thought it was maybe a little bit too overpriced for what you get, but over time, I learned to sort of appreciate all the little details that it has, all the features that it's packed with, even like the 10 gig LAN card that it comes with, sort of the M.2 little card that you can also add, all of the potential power features that this motherboard has. I didn't appreciate them at first, but as I started using this motherboard, not only for gaming, but more heavy workstation use, I really began to appreciate all of the features that it packs. And of course, the performance is really, really good with something like a 5950X. And of course, it's being cooled by the EK magnitude block, and eventually when I can get the EK for the Win 3 blocks, I'm going to put it on this GPU as well. That way everything will match really nicely. This system really is built up to support sort of a dual loop type of configuration. That's how I had it previously. So for now, I'm just going to be cooling the CPU, because as you guys know, the GPUs themselves are difficult to get, but the water blocks are even more difficult to find. Of course, you can expect that. It usually takes a few months for stuff to really start flowing through. As soon as those are available, I'm definitely going to update this build. I think it's really going to take advantage of this massive case. And talking about the case, it's the Caselabs SMA8. If you guys know, this company actually went bankrupt a few years ago. It's an absolutely legendary case. I plan to keep this case forever and just sort of redo builds and change different configurations. It's very flexible. It has tremendously good build quality and performance, and I really just love the nice, sleek, industrial look that it has. And of course, I'm going to be using the system to play a lot of Cyberpunk, and as I play and can benchmark, I'm definitely going to do a video on the performance. And of course, it's going to be just on one GPU. Like I said, the second SLI GPU is really not meant for games for the most part. It's meant for rendering and different types of workstation uses. So I'm definitely going to do an update video when I can get some nice benchmarks and some nice performance numbers out of Cyberpunk 2077. I think this system with a 5950X and the 3090 should be able to perform really, really fast. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this build. Remember to smash that like button. Let's see how high we can get. Remember to subscribe, leave a comment below, let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys on the next video.